Today I'll mostly be talking about how I do my Final Cut workflow. So hi guys. So the first thing I do in my workflow for a Final Cut Pro is to set up my folder system to bring in all the footage that I film with all the cameras I've got. So we're headed off to Cork to see if I can get a pair of jeans.
That fit.
yeah. My last pair of Levi's from LA are dead. How can that be?
It didn't even last a year.
The first thing I do when starting a Final Cut project is to open this little app that I made using Automator. And it's right here. It's called Folder Maker. I double click on it. It will make a folder with a series of folders inside it with all the cameras that I have. So I don't have to do this every single time. So I'll call this one Final Cut Pro Workflow, let's call it. I just click that. Boom. Now on my footage folder on my external hard drive, I've now got a folder called Final Cut Pro Workflow, which has got all the subfolders that I use. Capture, which is my screen capture. I've got clips, which is if other people give me little tiny bits of film to use. I've got the GoPro, Insta360, iPhone M3, the Mavic Air, my music folder for whatever music I'm going to use, the Osmo Pocket, and then stills. So any pictures that I use, for instance, I'll stick in there. Let's see if we can actually go get some jeans now.
Yeah, fatty.
Then the next thing I do is create a new library. So once I've got a new library created, I create a new project for the video that I'm going to make. Open Final Cut Pro. Right, so because I have two monitors, I have my bins on one side and my main working area right in front of me. First thing I do is I go up to Final Cut File, New, and I make a new library. I usually call the library whatever I think I'm going to actually call the video. And I do one library per video. So this way, if I ever need to go back to it, I have the library and I'm able to find it and it's easy. Apparently 65% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel. Go on, subscribe to the channel. Final Cut Pro X workflow, create the library on my external drive as well. The next thing, file new project, and unfortunately that's coming up on my other screen. Let's see if I can bring this into you. Normally I have this section on my second screen. A new project, again, Final Cut Pro X workflow. Instead of 4K, I will go to custom. I'll do 1920 by 960, which is 2:1, because I like to use the 2:1 ratio. Select OK. Next thing I do is I will connect the camera, open my iPhone, get the footage that I have on that. So I'll go over here and down below, open image capture. I have my iPhone, grab the images, and over here I have my video CAC library. And then I'll go footage, video I'm working on, and then iPhone, which is the footage I'm going to bring in. Right, I select it all over here and then I drag it across, and those are the files that will be coming in for me to use. I think there actually is a lineup to get in.
So what do we do?
Line up, I guess. Not very long. I import all the footage from all the cameras into the folders designated for them. I import all those folders into Final Cut Pro just using the little import button. Once everything has gone into the folder, I select all the JPEGs and move them into the stills. I leave all the iPhone movies in the one folder and I move the stills to the other. Back into Final Cut, import, which is this button up here at the top, Video CAC T5 footage, find my Final Cut workflow folders, import selected. And that'll bring everything and the folders within into my workflow over here. Files have come in here. Viewing right at the moment in Optimize Original, but normally I would do the proxy only. If the files are too big, I like to use the proxies in order to cut the video. For the moment, I think we're okay. And I'm going to select all, and I'm going to hit E on my keyboard, which is going to send the whole lot to my timeline. Come over here and grab this and open up the timeline wider so I can see better. Because I'm editing in 2:1, you can see the black bars on the side, right? So I'll select all, spatial conform, type, fill. And you'll see how now everything goes up to 2:1. I'll go cut all this footage right now, and I'll come back when I'm done. Let's see if we can find these jeans. There's everything but jeans. Button, yes. 34. 32. It's on to my first rough mix, which is where I drop all the footage that I take into the timeline. Edit all that down till I get a first rough mix of the entire thing that I can play through. Then I drop my music in. Once the music is in, I start cutting to the music, getting a tighter sense of how the footage is going to go. I also add my outro, which is the same for every video, so I just drop that in. A little subscribe button, bring that in. Once I get all of the footage to where I think it works well, I watch the entire video through. I start on the subtle cuts and then get even closer to a final mix. How large is it?
That's a large. Very busy, yeah.
Look at this little line we're in. And the cashiers are way over there somewhere. Once I get the video to where I think it's right, I make a compound clip of the entire thing. I should say, I also make compound clips of all the sections as I'm going along, just so they're easier to move around if I want to change something later. I make compound clips, and then when the whole thing is put together and finished, I make a compound clip of all those compound clips. When I've got the final compound clip, I add my look grade over the entire clip, and on top of the look grade, I put an adjustment layer to add a LUT to give an overall color for the entire video.
We're going that way, are we?
Well, yeah. Fantastic off.
The boot is fairly full.
What do you think happened? That's pretty funny. How come you haven't taken your mask off?
I'm still in public, yeah.
Not really. Now, what I've been doing because of this problem I'm having with the vocals, I've been opening audio tracks in the bottom. When the voice track is open, then I will add my plugin onto it. So just to explain that, I put the plugin, and because the plugin won't go through Compressor, won't allow the entire video to be compressed with those vocals and that plugin on it, I send that vocal out, which means that the plugin gets baked into the sound. So when I re-import the sound in, the plugin is on even though there's no actual plugin on the track. So it's been bounced down, basically. That's the important bit. Then I take the entire thing and send it off to Compressor, where in Compressor I add up to 4K for the footage, then I batch compress the entire thing, and then the file usually ends up around a gig somewhere in that area for about a 10-minute video. Then I just upload it to YouTube as per normal, make myself a thumbnail from somewhere, and I'm off to the races. So thanks very much, guys, and we'll see you in a couple of days.